who are just joining in, and for those that already kick-started off the show with us. And this time around, we're heading into our discussion. And our discussion today is mainly going to be about, I did say, about the movie business in Uganda. But then, we're going to look at an educational movie or a motivational movie. Have you ever asked yourself a question, how are your saving habits? How do you save? Because normally some of us have got a different mentality towards our savings or our financial situations. You've heard of a certain clip that has been circulating where a gentleman tells Ugandans that if the money you don't have cannot solve the problems you have, eat that money. So this has actually caused some big problems among the youth, whereby people's saving cultures have totally been affected with this video. All right, and as we're going to speak about the same matter of savings, there is a movie that will actually entice you to watch it if you are a Ugandan, and this one here is titled The Hidden Agenda. Let's first have a look at the trailer, and when we do return, we sit down with the brains behind the same movie and what he was targeting to actually come up with the same set piece here. We'll be right back.
My mother always said that a good girl should be hard to get.
No, that's nothing. Like that's so cheap for me. Right, you know, I make money. I make dollars, pounds.
And that is the hidden agenda. And I've actually seen a statement there. We all have something to hide. Because all the time we hide certain things, maybe in terms of finances and things like that. And you engage into that. But okay, I think you've seen the trailer that is of the movie Hidden Agenda. That will actually be out in this very November. It will be out into the cinemas, the various cinemas in Uganda. And joining me in studio is the movie director or the cinematographer, the brain behind the same movie. And this is none other than Mr. Shafiq Sembatia. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let's start from there. Before we even start from the movie, how has life been in the movie industry in Uganda?
Actually, the movie industry in Uganda has been challenging due to the fact that it's hard to produce a movie on your own, because when you look at internationals, they only supported by big companies. But here in Uganda, you have to use the little you have so that you can make a difference in movie industry. And that's the major challenge we have found, mainly is to finance the entire project, because it's a bit expensive, because it's not very easy. That's why a lot of people start movies and they fail to finish them due to lack of funds. So that's the major challenge.
And let's now speak of the hidden agenda now. So the hidden agenda, being a movie based on business, I would say it's a business-oriented movie, but it's actually also trying to bring out a reality checker. It is depicting the reality checker that we have a challenge in managing our finances, and also a very huge challenge in our expenses, more so the young people.
Yes,
And so what inspires the whole story?
Basically, what inspires the whole story is lack of saving habits in Uganda. Because I took time and I made research among Ugandans, especially during COVID situation. A lot of people failed to fund them, to invest in themselves earlier on, and they ended up begging because they had no structure for saving, and they ended up failing their lives due to lack of funds. And when it comes to hidden agenda, I looked more onto 4 categories of people, and the major person was in case someone dies and is the one who is responsible for a business, and a person who inherits it, it looked very hard for him to drive the business like the fathers used, because they had no saving structures, they had no, business management skills, and this person ended up spending all the company money into his own benefits by spending on expensive stuff, buying brand new cars, buying expensive alcohol, throwing big parties in that amount. So at end results, we ended up failing the business, and it reached its downfall. So that's the key factor. Then the other thing is, we looked more onto the youth for today, especially the ladies. They have a challenge of saving due to the fact that if someone earns some amount, they end up spending more than they earn. Then at end results, then we have found like a couple of scenarios whereby someone saved money and into a circle, and they end up, someone ends up taking all the money and leave you broke due to the fact that you didn't know where to save rightly. So we end up saying that we need to sensitize the community that we should consider the legit scheme, the legit financial institute to hold our income, to hold our savings, due to the fact that a lot of circles are penetrating there and here, and we end up saving them, trusting them with our money, and we end up failing due to the fact that we have no saving structure here today. And finally, the last category of people we looked at is the youth for today, especially the gents. They end up spending and saving onto forex trading, and it's hard to see which trading site is legit. Then, due to the fact that a lot of forex trading sites are online, it's hard to know which one is legit, which one is not. So when you invest your money onto the bitcoins, the forex trading, you end up losing it through a wrong site, and you end up regretting why you didn't save into a financial institute which is legit, like the banks, like the Airtel money, mobile money, because there we trust our money with ourselves. But with other schemes, it's hard to predict which one is right and which one is wrong. So at the end result, we consider the theme that says, even though we all see and use money differently, it's high time to talk about it. If you have your own money, it's hard for me to tell you and tell you how to save it, not until if you watch this story, because this story compiles most of the challenges people go through when it comes to savings. And that's the key factor why I came up with the story, and I produced a movie that's called Hidden Agenda, due to the fact that we're looking onto different people, they are hiding something onto their other people. So the end result, they all failed because they were hiding what they had inner. So that's the key factor, and that's the reason why that story is going to be produced in this November.
Okay.
Yes.
And he did mention about the laxity of most of the Ugandan youth, because if I'm to actually give you a picture of the young people, the nature and how they spend their money is worrying. Reason being that people no longer care about what to expect in the future. People are looking at what to see, what they're actually seeing right now. Whereby someone gets, he did mention of some of the young, maybe the young women who spend more money, the ones that we term to as the slave queens. Someone who does not even, you will actually be challenged that you find a slave queen who is not even working, but spending more money than a person who is actually having a good paying job. You find a young girl spending over 4 million a month, from paying for a luxurious apartment to the type of food they do eat, to the type of parties they go to the type of clothing they wear, the types of phones they have. Most of them actually have cars as well. So you can look at that luxurious lifestyle, and then you wonder if at all they get this money and put it into something productive, maybe they can actually do something for their future. Because as you're securing the future, I guess you need to utilize the little finances that you have, because with time, money, normally abaganda bagamba sente eringa mugenyi nti olwaleero ejja enkya neevaawo naye weebezze olina obanga olina engeri gy'okikozesezaamu oleme kunyumya mboozi nti nange nalinako ku sente. So now Mr. Shafiq, yes, let's also get into the business here. How long does it take for a movie to actually come out in terms of the production?
Actually, in terms of the production, when it comes specifically to Hidden Agenda, it took me a full year from the day I called the auditions up to now. It's almost a full year. It happens due to the challenges I went through, because it's my own company that funded the entire project. But if at all I had a sponsor who was sponsoring this project, it can even take 2-3 months and the production is ready. But due to the fact that it's too much challenging to look for money at the same time calling for shooting, it took a very long period comparing to what the standard period should be. And that's the reason why it took that long. Yeah. So
it depends on what you want. And also, I must say, I've seen the quality of the camera. It seems they are quite expensive ones, because the quality of the video only depicts the type of cameras that we've had.
True.
So if you're to look at the transition in the movie industry, where is our movie industry heading to? Let's first drive it in terms of production. If you look at the different movies that are produced by the Uganda local producers.
Actually, when it comes to Ugandan movie industry, we at least shifted somewhere, but we are not yet there. Because for me, I happened to get a chance to work from South Africa, and I happened to engage and interact with a lot of South African filmmakers so that I can know where we're failing in Uganda. But the fact is, the Ugandan industry, it hasn't been recognized on a large scale. We normally look at our movie as Ebina Uganda, because we're looking more onto local Ugandan stories. But me personally, since I have traveled and exposed to the other world, I have seen that our movies shouldn't be looked into that category. They should be looked at as cinemas, or we should be looking at them as cinema movies, so that we can also be considered in cinemas. And when it comes to the quality that you mentioned, I happen to have my own camera, which is a Red Dragon Epic. It's a 6K, and that's the fact that that's the reason why the picture quality is more different comparing to the other DSLR cameras. And it's a bit expensive to achieve such a quality, because it's not easy to hire that camera on a daily basis when you're doing a movie. But when you have your own camera, it at least simplifies the tasks of hiring a big camera, and you end up doing something that at least is worth it on the international market. And that's the reason why that movie has that look. But still, the industry in Uganda, we still have to put in more effort, especially to have, like, say, government support. We need government support so that we can at least have quality pictures, at least we can have quality stories, so that even international market can also buy the concepts, and also we should be considered on international platforms like Netflix and other the box office we should be there because our stories are still virgin. They are not yet out. We're not yet out there because most of our stories they remain on local stories. They don't go far more than other stories in other countries. Yeah.
Okay, and now let's also talk about the way Ugandans are buying these movies. Because I'm only looking at you as a movie producer, you make these movies and put them on sale. How are Ugandans getting to access these movies?
Apparently there are platforms where we try to look for aggregators, and the aggregators link our projects to those platforms. And when we're shooting a movie, or when I'm shooting a movie, I don't target local market because it's hard for me to carry my movie and I take it to a shop and I tell them, you put it on a CD and sell it for me. To me, it looks like, no, it can't work like that. But when I have created like networks on different platforms, I can only consider the aggregators, let's say DSTV, Pearl Magic, and Netflix. When you pitch them and they also buy the story idea, it's easier for them to consider your project as long as you have worked on their requirements. Because some TV stations, they don't like low quality. They always want the quality which is a bit higher. And to have such a quality, you have to invest in yourself so that you can at least work on their requirement. For example, Netflix, it demands a production which is on Red Dragon. You understand? So if you work on, let's say, DSR, if you work on these small cameras, the Handycam, it's hard for them to consider your project because it doesn't reach their requirement. Same to DSTV and other digital platforms. They normally consider how good the story is and how is the picture quality so that they can at least give you attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, and we are still here discussing about the movie business in Uganda, something that has, if you've been following local content, this time around I think we're getting the recognition we want from the Ugandan market. Now it is high time we started getting to the international market. Like Sembetia Shafiki has mentioned that if you look at that, if we start targeting the international market, then they are going to recognize the quality of movies that we have. And because if you look at the storyline, of late people have started to transit from the storylines that we used to have back in the time, whereby you could easily tell that the movie has started like this and it's actually going to end in this particular format. So with this time around, you can actually see some change from the movie production, the type of cameras, the type of producers, the actors that we have, quite different. It is a different angle of that. When we do return after the break, we're continuing with the same story, and then maybe we're also going to get some more tips from Mr. Sembetia Shafiq regarding the movie industry in Uganda. This is SMB. We shall be right back.